Come on, dude. Are you been busy?
Have to do, yeah, mate. Yeah. Are you? What have you been doing? Wallpapering?
Yeah. No. Got yourself by my nice floral curtains in the background.
Don't blame me, mate. Nothing wrong with them.
Proper hippie me. Proper hippie. Go full beard and everything. Right? Not looking as dapper as you do in your photos.
Gotta try, mate.
I'll give up trying. I'll give up.
How's the trading going?
Yeah, it's right. I had a look tonight, but nothing took me fancy, to be honest. I was looking at going, this is shit. So just went, nah.
I tried last night and I just wasn't feeling it. It's fucking up and down, up and down, and down. I was like, nah, no thanks.
Yeah. Proper volatile at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. You see gold today. What a dive it took.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, I was looking at that. Bitcoin's down today as well.
Is it?
Yeah, it's down, I think. Hang on, I'm just looking now. It's jumped up again. It was down about 2.8% earlier. It's gone back up to plus 0.3.
What did they hit? Was it January or February? It hit like 20,000, didn't it?
Don't know. I just see it jump up to. At the minute, just looking at my Coinbase wallet, and it's up to 11,700 apparently. My shares are doing well, though. I'm happy with that. Made £2,000 on Lloyd's DSB today. I'm well happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cushy.
Fucking all this good news, man. It's bumped all the share prices back up, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see what I'm up. Fine. End of play. 2183. Yeah, boy. Take a week off.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, man.
Just need my Aston Martin ones to sort of pull their finger out their arse now.
You what?
Need my Aston Martin shares to pull their finger out their arse.
You got some of them, yeah?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. What's going on with Aston at the minute? Mercedes just bought 20% share, didn't they?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, Toto Wolff, the geezer who runs the team for Mercedes in F1.
F1, yeah.
He owns half the business now, half the controlling shares.
Right.
And old Lance Stroll that drives for Racing Point, his dad bought the company about 6 months ago.
Really?
Yeah. So Lance Stroll Senior owns Aston Martin pretty much now.
All right, Dave.
Big money.
All right, Les.
Yeah, Stu Clinton's in now.
Perfect. Thanks, mate.
Glenn Devaney. Has he joined? Glenn Devaney?
Glenn Devaney.
Kieran Flynn has. I've saw that. I don't know about Glenn Devaney.
Don't know who that is. Oh, isn't that one of Darren's lads?
Invited by Connor.
Oh, it might be. Yeah, it might be Connor then.
I'll let him in.
Girlfriend, his girlfriend wants to make.
Hang on, let me look.
Right, they're all in. They're all in.
I know as well. This is bad, isn't it? Someone's just messaging me. What's all this stuff you're advertising online? That's weird, isn't it? I even messaged him, just messaged me saying, what's this stuff you're advertising on Facebook?
That's the best way, isn't it? When people see what you do. Give it a few minutes. How many got on? We got 13. Nice. Send another message.
Hey.
Right, get started.
Jason, is that cannabis where it says chill out?
Possibly. Looks like a tree to me. Don't know what you're saying.
It's the best kind of chill out I'm seeing.
Right. Thanks for jumping on, guys. We'll make a move. I think you're all muted. If you want to say anything, please unmute yourself. No worries at all. Last week we got a fair bit of interaction. So if we can get that tonight, possibly, just anything, just really please don't be scared. I used to come on these sessions when I first started and think, oh, I don't want to say anything, don't want to say anything. And if not, that's fine, don't worry. But, you know, if you're not going to say anything on here, please message one of us. I'm sure we can overcome your problems some way or another. Yeah, so thanks for jumping on, guys. Again, I appreciate it. What we're going to jump over or go over tonight was I heard Les mention briefly last week about FOMO and fear of losing as well. So fear of missing out and fear of losing out, I guess, FOMO. And then we've got fantastic Dr. Bullivant on tonight as well with us. Thanks for jumping on again, mate, and doing your things. We'll get to you shortly. I just wanted to touch a bit on FOMO, but before that, you can all see my why again, because I look at it every day. You should all have one, because you should be doing this for a reason. So yeah, that's mine. I've got a few on there. You know, we all do it for money, so it's, for me, it should be a bit deeper than that. You should all have you know, different reasons for it. I guess anybody who has got kids, I'm sure we're all doing it for that as well, to leave a legacy for them so they don't have to go to work and so forth and so forth, you know, because that is where I want to be. That is where I'm going to get to. That is the amount of money I'm going to have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to spoil my children, but I want them definitely to have options, you know, not saying I was without when I was younger, but, you know, it's nice to have money. Like people say, it doesn't help, it doesn't get you everything in life, don't get me wrong, no, but it definitely does help, doesn't it? Hence why a lot of us are doing this. So FOMO, I'm sure, I won't read them all out for you, so I'm sure a lot of us have been through this. I most definitely have, especially in the start. So I'll read a few of them. So yeah, they're all doing it, so it can't be that bad. So for example, maybe even now, like HFX, there's a lot of us jumping onto this. So the people who are in IM, maybe some people that you're even talking to, they're a bit fed up of Forex and want to jump across. That's fine, because at the moment it's working for us. It's fantastic. It's working for me. What else we got? Yeah, number 6 is one of the biggest things. I'm scared I'll miss out on a great opportunity. You know, so we'll go back to possibly some of you may have seen this happen today. Where are we at? Gold took a massive dive today because of the news that came out in regards to the COVID vaccination. So obviously that was a huge nosedive for gold. Took a massive plummet. Ignore all this. I'll just delete all this for you. That's smart money stuff. But yeah, it's obviously people would have been looking at this thinking, oh, do you know what? I might just get in right at the bottom. It's definitely going to go a bit more. What happens? Bang, hits the support line, or you know, I won't go into that, but it's an institutional candle area, and obviously bounces back, so you can see it's starting to climb back up again. So just because this has dropped a massive away, it's a lot of pips has dropped. People will be possibly, obviously, yeah, if you've done your analysis, you'll be getting it up at the top here, maybe halfway if you were lucky, but people, especially like the retail people who lose typically 70% of their money, or all of it in Forex, they would possibly get in down here just because of FOMO. It's just a fear of missing out. They want to get in. They think, oh, I'll just get in here now. It's going to go down to here. What happens? Bang. Market takes them out. And that is the banks taking people out there on purpose. Yeah, it took a big dive today, hence this stuff. Yeah, so obviously the FTSE, I was reading this early on. I think this is the company that's got on board with it. It's, I don't know if you've seen it. They've got a vaccine today that's 90% effective. Obviously, it really has shaken the FTSE, which was what Dave was talking about early on. A lot of the shares have gone up today because of this stuff. So that's obviously fundamental news. We're not here to talk about that, guys. So, but yeah, like I was saying about gold, that is literally fear of missing out. People thought, you know what, I better get on this. You know, I want to do it. Yeah, let's get in, and then obviously, bam, did the wrong turn, and they obviously regretted it then. So a FOMO. So what we're going to talk about is it triggers. What actually triggers it. Again, you know, possibly if you want to know stuff deeper, how it triggers your mind. You know, I'm guessing that Peter would be more than happy to help you with that. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not qualified in anything, so I'll just go off what I know or what I've heard possibly. It's an internal feeling, so it can literally change it with different factors. So the ones that are in the red writing, so they're the biggest ones that can change how you feel. So we got here the volatile markets. We all know how volatile, especially Bitcoin and gold, can be. Just because you think you're on a bullish market, you know, it also happens on a bearish market, yeah, up or down. We definitely don't want to miss out on a good opportunity. And like I just said, people have been jumping on board. I know a lot of people. I follow one guy on Instagram. He's Australian. He's lost like £1.2 million early on gold. Don't really know what the size of his account is, but that's a lot of money to lose just because he thought, oh, do you know what? It's pushing down. I just think to myself, well, if you've got that kind of money, you should most definitely know what you do, what you're doing in the markets. But yeah, he put it out and he made a Instagram TV video about it. It's like, yeah, here's my account. I lost it. And he recognized it. He's like, you know what? I thought I was onto a winner here. Jump on the bandwagon, as we say. Same thing happened with oil about 3 months ago, was it? I think it was middle of the COVID pandemic. Oil just hit rock bottom. You know, people jumping on board. Obviously, when it hit zero, obviously it started to go the other way. Well, it didn't have another way to go, really, did it? But that was the same sort of thing. Winning streaks, they definitely don't last forever, unfortunately. You know, we are all doing very well with this, but you know, we do get losing streaks sometimes. And obviously, this is where the mindset kicks in. You know, I typically, if I take 2 trades and they lose, depends how I feel, I may possibly go for the third. But if that loses, it's game over. I will sometimes leave it for 48 hours because it's either my mindset or the markets. And if it's the market, I'm not reading it right. So it comes back down to me again. So just walk away. So winning streaks, yeah, it's just like, you know, anything, rugby, football. We've all been there, whoever you follow, if you follow sports and stuff, you know, such as, I don't know, let's go back 3-4 years, was it? Leicester won the Premier League. Are they ever going to do it again? That was just a winning streak. I'm not too sure. So repetitive losses, you know, it's just a vicious cycle. So we enter a position, yeah, we get scared and then we close it out. So I've used to do this quite a lot, to be honest. I just thought, oh, do you know what? I'll take the money off the table and run with it. But then I was thinking, you know what? Oh, I missed that now. I'll re-enter because I wanted more and more and more, and that's when greed was kicking in. Yeah, and obviously, what happens then? Let's say I was up 70 quid. I went in for more. I lost 40 quid. I'm still up 30. But what I did then is, I'll start chasing the 40 back. And yeah, I was down 100 then in the end. I was just chasing my own tail. So it's nasty. It can get, then it just becomes gambling to me. You're just chasing money. Yeah, it's just 50-50 gamble then to me. It's just not worth it. News and rumors. So obviously news we've seen like today. I don't think many people were predicting it, to be honest. News is like fundamentals. Yeah, the stuff that we know about, which is on like, you know, on FX news and stuff. We can go on them and see the predicted news, obviously like the election in America, we know that's going to happen. You know, it's going to affect the markets, but maybe this COVID stuff today, I didn't know it was going to happen. So, you know, some stuff you just can't predict, unfortunately. Social media, this is a big one. So you see a lot of these apparently gurus who are kicking off saying, look, I've done 3,000, 10,000, 18,000 pips on Euro GPP this month. You're thinking, well, if you know Forex, that's very it's quite hard to do, especially if they're meant to be doing it the right way. That's a lot of pips to be catching, especially the higher end pips. You know, it's very hard. So you're thinking, well, you know what, I shouldn't be reading this. And I've actually come away from a lot of these pages because they're just chatting shit, a lot of them. You know, it's just clickbait. They just want you to click on there. They sell you a sales funnel or a course or something, or signal group, and then you're stuck. And then that's unfortunately why people get sucked into Forex. They say it doesn't work, and then people like us who are generally trying to help people get the stigma from it. They get the stick from it. So, you know, that's just another cycle, unfortunately. But yeah, social media is massive, especially Twitter. You know, there's a lot of people on there, especially big American firms. They're all over Twitter. So yeah, I just stay away from them because they can definitely twist your mind. They think, you know, oh yeah, well, we've been trading for 6, 7, 10 years, whatever, and they may possibly believe it, but you should just trust your own instincts and stick to what you know, what you feel like. So which is where I'm going to come to at the bottom here. So like I say, it can affect anyone, from obviously retail people to professional hedge funders, you know, everybody, even those in binary. I would say it happens in the moment. So yeah, I've touched on that. You feel the pressure, so you feel like you have to get into it, to be honest. Yeah, that's what's the whole point of fear of missing out. You want to be involved so you don't miss out on it. And it's a horrible thing. You've got like one gremlin here and one sort of demon on the other side. One says yes, the other one says no, and you go with it. So it affects nearly 70% of us in Forex. Yeah, so there's a lot of us who suffer from this, the fear of missing out. So 70%, it's a high thing, isn't it? Which obviously retail traders, they're the people who come in typically right at the start, the beginners, if you wish. Obviously the bankers, the big boys, they know this. They know that obviously the mindset is going to take over, FOMO is going to take over. So that's where they take their capital from it. They take the benefit from people. They take advantage, really, which is, you know, I'm not sure if you know much about it, but Barclays, I think last year got charged £1.6 billion for, they've got a software in place, so they know where people's stop losses are. So, you know, that's the type of stuff that they do. They do it on purpose. They dominate the market. But at the moment, we've got something good, so we don't need FOMO really. But you may possibly be doing it now. So a lot of it is greed, fear, excitement, jealousy. So jealousy is a big thing. You know, you see somebody else, for example, I don't know, let's take Sean or Les, especially, was it last week, Friday, Saturday? I don't remember when it was, when Les went, I think it was 50 trades he did. Some people may be jealous of that. I'm thinking, well, shit, if he can do that, I can do that. I can do maybe 55 or 60. People get bitter, unfortunately. They want to do bigger and better. Yeah, so bear in mind, Les is very good at what he does. He's professional, he's a full-time trader. So let's just do it slow. We will get there in time. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. Yeah, so just do it in your own. It's a journey. I've always said. I've said last week, I think it was, life and Forex to me is a book. Write your own book. Do it your own way. Yes, be coachable and teachable. Be open, but you've got to do your own thing as well. Yeah. So for me, copying other people's trades, for example, it's just, to me, it's like you may as well take signals, because you're not going to learn. So jealousy, it's a bitter thing. Impatience, this is a big thing. You know, I'm sure a lot of you are sitting there for, fantastic. I don't know if it's always going to happen to me, but the last sort of 10 days, 9-10 days, I've been in and out of the markets within, I think the fastest one I did last week was about 44 seconds. That was it. My just over 3% done. Yeah, so that possibly may have been a bit of luck. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but generally, I think early on, I did 12.1% growth in 9 minutes. So yes, it's worked for me now, but maybe next week, and I'm gonna have to sit there for 2 hours. Yeah, I may sit there for an hour in the morning and just think to myself, you know what, it's not happening for me today. Let's go for a walk or do whatever. Go out, take out the family, go to the shopping, go for a shower, whatever you want to do. Come back and see where the market is at there. What else we got? So this is how I sort of deal with it, because don't get me wrong, I do get FOMO as well. So I've got the 3 Ds. That's how I've broken it down. So disconnect, de-emotion, and de-stress. So one of the biggest things for me is I take my hand off the mouse, because that is the trigger. You just imagine somebody in the army with a sniper, or he's sitting there all day long with his finger on the trigger. Yeah, if he puts his hand on his head, the incentive really is not there to pull the trigger, is it? Yeah, might not be a great example, because if you're in the war, you shouldn't have your hands on the head, should you? But yeah, and this is another thing for me. Am I ready to enter that trade? You know, as in, does it all line up? So the indicators that we got, which are fantastic, and I think we all need to thank Les for that as well. So do they all line up? So just because you see one thing, don't think, oh yeah, I better get in that just in case. Just in case is not good enough. You know, it's a long-term thing. This is a business. You've got to take it seriously. Is it safe to trade? So I mean, you know, safe wise is, do you think it's safe as in volatile? Yeah. Or do you think it's risky? If it's risky, don't do it. There's plenty of others to go. Like down here, trading opportunities is just like a bus. They always come and go. Maybe not down here, not in Wales anyway. You got to wait one every 4 hours. It is up here. But yeah, you know, they're just around the corner. You may think, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to take that one. I'll sit out now. Another 3 minutes may come along. You get another trade. Yeah, there you go. The right opportunities are they're worth waiting for. Yeah, because if you're going to take 3 trades and they're not safe, if you will, and they're risky, you've just lost. You know, if you're all risky, maybe let's say 2%, you've just lost 6% of your accounts. So maybe you could have waited another 15, 20 minutes, and you could have had the right opportunities where it all lines up. We know how the market moves. You know, a divergence moves, a CMF moves. They all move very, very quickly. It can happen within seconds. Yeah, we're all in the same position. So, like I said, don't compare yourself. When I say the same position, we all start in the same place. We all go through the same stuff. We all go through the losses, blown accounts. I've blown 6, 7 accounts, and I'm still here because I know it works. You've got to go through the shit to get to the good stuff. Yeah, this is a big one for me. Create a trading plan and then stick to it. Did I try to go for 12%? No. If it was there, the opportunity was there and it was safe and I followed all this. Am I following a trading plan? Yes. Is there major news coming out? As far as I was aware, no. And that obviously the last one is the big thing for me. Are you in the right frame of mind? I'll be honest with you, I was nearly going to not do this mindset call tonight. Why? I couldn't tell you, just because I've been pissed off all day. That's just me being honest with you. So sometimes you've got to be honest with yourself. And you've got to sit back and think, do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be trading today. You've had an argument with your missus or your boyfriend or whatever. Maybe even if I stumped my toe on the side of the corner or the cabinet or the door, that pisses me off for about 4 hours. I don't know if anybody else is like that. It just annoys me. It just puts me in a bad frame of mind. Even the weather outside, I hate the rain. Don't mind when it's cold, but I hate the rain. Yeah, I'm not scared of it, don't get me wrong, but I just hate it. If it's raining, it just puts me off. When I'm sat here trying to concentrate, all I can hear is the rain hitting against the window. So it's taking my concentration off trading. Yeah, so sometimes I'll think, you know what, stuff it. These small things people don't realize. Yeah. You should know your strategy. I'm sure we're all aware of what we're doing strategy-wise. The 5-4-3 or 3-2-1, whichever one you're even if you got your own spin on it. Yeah, create the trading plan and stick to it. I think we've all got the compounding effect. As soon as you hit it, they're about to close. Even if it's £3 short, leave it be. You know, just because you're £3 short, it doesn't mean you're gonna have to take another trade just to get over that mark. I don't. Early on, I was short of £18. I thought, should I take another trade? I thought no, because I know that next trade is gonna lose pretty much 30-40% of what I've just won. So I said, leave it there. You know, tomorrow's another day. I can earn that £18 tomorrow. That's a big one. Knowing the market is essential. You need to understand the market. If a lot of you are maybe, let's say, struggling or finding it hard with the strategies, I found the big breakthrough for me was reading the market. They say the market Forex is a language; it speaks to you. Yeah, you need to get. I don't remember what was his name. If somebody can help me, maybe lads can remember. Is Evan Cable? He does a lot of market structure and stuff. There's a lot of people on there on the academy that will go through dojis and shooting stars, all that stuff. All the candles mean stuff. So if you don't know that, you should know these stuff, because they mean different stuff. The candles gives you the head start, if you like, for the next candle. Yeah, you should be able to read the market, a bit like Braille, I guess. You need to be able to read it. Yeah, if that makes sense. That's the last slide. So I hope that helps. If not, let me know. I'm happy to jump on one-to-ones, or if you're struggling with anything, please reach out to me. I'm not going to grill you. I've been grilled before. When I spat my dummy out, my old upline said to me, "Grow the fuck up." I said, "Whoa, that's a bit harsh, isn't it?" And he put the phone down on me. That was me. Oh, that was me just throwing my dummy out because I was over leveraging my account. I was losing money. And he asked me how much trade to be taken today, and it was something stupid like 24, 28 trades, something like that. Bear in mind, this was on Forex, not binary. It's like, well, there you go. That's your answer. And I was just trying to blame him when it was purely down to me. It was my fault. So I'll pass you over to our dear friend Peter. Thanks for listening, guys. Peter, you there, mate? I'll mute you. Stop my share. I'll make you host. Make host. There you go, mate. You should be host now. You should be good to go.
Yep. Thank you very much. Yes, so first of all, I'm not a doctor, but thank you very much for the
Oh, sorry, mate. Professor.
Yeah, I have sort of a background in psychology, but yeah, not a full-on doctor of any sort.
Sounds good.
That's all right. A couple of weeks ago, yeah, I sort of introduced a bit about this thing called the chimp paradox, and the sort of concept that in our heads there are sort of three different brains going along, and how that might help us understand what's going on when we're trading, and how that might help us develop ourselves to become more effective traders. And then on the call last week, there was quite a bit of conversation. I think it was Philip particularly, and resonated with me with how do we develop that confidence to know that when I click, when to click the button, that's the right setup, that's the right shape, and how do we take some of the emotions out of that? And that really sort of resonated with me, because I'm about sort of 4 weeks into sort of learning all of this. And I'd got sort of to that point, I had a bit of success, then it's sort of gone a bit wobbly, and I was getting to that point where focusing on my 4%, and you're getting adrenaline rushes every time you click the button, and that's really not where we want to be. So it sort of really looked at that. So what I was going to do was sort of share with people my thinking over this week and what I've sort of put in place to try and help me go through that. If at the end of it people have got other suggestions about how others might manage this, how I might manage it better, what people can do to do a lot of stuff that Jason's just really talked about how do you take some of the emotion out of clicking the button, how do you take the emotion out of that moment of feeling that I'm going to miss out on something, the emotion of fear that something's going to happen, or I'm not sure whether I should push the button or not, and all of that sort of stuff. So hopefully it may be of use to others. It's been quite useful to me because I've had to put all this together, and I think what I'm just trying to do is really help me understand how I develop my thinking using this sort of concept really of the computer and the chimp in your brain, which is very much the chimp is the bit of your brain that kicks in when it, particularly with all of your emotions, and if you suddenly feel like you're thinking, oh my god, why am I doing this, I don't want to do this, that's probably this part of your brain, which the sort of picture that's painted is the chimp aspect. So this is our jungle part of there. So that's what I've been sort of trying to work through, understanding how it's sort of the process really happens, and if there's any sort of fear or danger or sense that it's the chimp that kicks in, and that can be us sitting at a laptop going, oh, I don't know, oh, somebody's just put on my Facebook thing that they've just done 8 trades and no losses, and oh, what am I doing wrong? And suddenly the chimp kicks in, says, right, I need to do something about this. It'll look at the computer, it'll think, okay, before I've looked at somebody else, and therefore I'll react in this way. And that's what's going on in tens and hundreds of seconds in our head all the time. The human brain is the more logical, rational. The chimp is the black and white, the emotional side of things. But the other bit is the computer running on autopilot. Now, the classic we talked about this was the learning to drive. And what I'm sort of feel like is that reading all the candles, the shapes, the triggers, the indicators, I'm very much learning to drive, and I've just about done clutch control, but I can't do clutch control and change gear at the minute. And one of the key things that is how do we get from where everything's going on and there's 15 different things going on and I don't know where to bend the button, to that just kind of happens. And that's really where your computer bit of your brain comes in, and it's that muscle memory thing but within your brain. And actually sort of over practice and time, we've got these things called autopilot, so let's just take over. And the computer bit runs at 20 times quicker than the human brain and 5 times quicker than chimp. So that's the bit we want to really get. So that was kind of where my thinking was about, how do I do my hours of learning to drive and get much better and much more fluid in terms of reading the candles, reading the signals, knowing the indicators, clicking the button. And that's really therefore understanding programming my brain to do these autopilots, really. And that's really what sort of turns into that confidence thing that we talked about, and Philip talked about. How do I develop this my confidence in being able to know that I can click that button? And how do we take that from an emotional response where the chimp kicks in and starts telling you lots of things and throwing lots of doubts in your mind, and what if it's wrong, what if it's right, what if you've missed out? All of those brain processes are very much the chimp response and the chimp throwing stuff into you. And what I always want to think about is how do then I actually develop the computer? So how do I know my system better, and how do I develop this autopilot? And a lot of that is just, and I think Les says it all the time, it's about pressing the button 100 times, knowing that the only way of doing this is keep doing it, and I think sort of analysing it and making sure you're understanding what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, keep reviewing it and keep processing it. And as Jason said, this trading thing is something we want to do for the long term and put the shoe leather in. We really don't, some of this needs to sort of work at this. It's not going to come easy. It does for some people, but for others, it takes a bit longer. And I've got an analytical brain and an analytical background, so I've probably taken it to one level of degree on some of this, but that's kind of how I work, really. So I've now got my sort of trading mindset, what you'll notice, the first thing that's not on there is anything to do with percentage growth or anything else like that, because I found myself really getting emotionally drawn into that target of a 4%. And, you know, I'd done 3 trades and I just needed a little bit more, as Jason said earlier. And then I was getting, my heart was going because I was clicked on the button, and then I lost it, and then I've got to go back again, and then you're in this weird. So I've kind of scrapped all of that, and all I'm looking for now is to develop an 80% win rate. So I've dropped my stakes down to €1, $1 again, and just to sort of trying to reinforce all of this stuff that you've got there. There's always another trade. It's better to miss out than lose a trade. And it's that consistency. It's becoming more robot-like or computer-like that will help us become consistent traders. And it's consistency that brings that continual, consistent growth. So that's the sort of where I'm trying to trade now. I sort of bring those that's the mindset I've got at the minute. If I can get that 80% win rate, then I know that the growth in the account will come. What I've also done is drawn these sorts of things. So this is my kind of checklist. This is the sort of the 3, 2, 1, 1, and this is I've got on a bit of paper in front of me, and it just helps me remember that. What do I need to be looking for, or are all these in place? Again, this is that sort of training my brain bit to try and think, okay, yeah, we've got the 4 indicators. Is there a pivot high? Is there any resistance or EMA to think about? What's the direction of the CMF? Is there momentum on the 1? And it's just going through that all the time. It gets our brains trained and practiced, I think, anyway. And that's what I'm trying to do. And then review each trade in line with that. This is the one I've just put together, which is for the 543. So again, it's just based on the indicators, and it's just putting it in a visual place. Some people's brain will look at pictures and link things in better. Other people will write them down. This may work for some people, it may not work, and this just helps me. What it's also helping me do is think about actually then reviewing those trades. So what I kind of am now doing as well is every time I press the button, I've got 2 monitors, so I just do print screen and save and copy and paste that into, I just use Google Slides to somewhere. And then when the trade is finished, I do another print screen and save that there. And that then just allows me to stop after every trade, whether it was a win or a loss, and have a look back and think about my checklist and then the indicators, and have a look there, and just highlight where I think if it was a loss, why was it a loss? Which bit had I forgotten? Which bit didn't I do? Was there the AO MACD dot or not, or etc. etc. So the one on there, I think was yesterday morning, which was Bitcoin, which I ended up losing, and I looked at it, and there was very clear that there was this big long line of very strong support there, and it literally, as I clicked, it bounced off of that and shot back up again. So it's just a way for me to sort of slow it all down, look at it, think about it, and then next time that will be programmed a bit more in my head. Think, oh yeah, don't forget support, don't forget resistance, etc., etc. So that's just again a way of me sort of analysing it a little bit. The last thing then I've done is just put a spreadsheet with some sort of graphs and things together that I can then take. I use IQ Cent, so I can take the data off IQ Cent, plug it into this, and then I've just got some visual type graphs and things that help me, as you said, concentrate maybe on that daily rate. And then I've just put some other graphs together, so in terms of sort of my win rate by different currencies, and then sort of beginning to think about, is that sort of success rate different times a day, different sort of currencies. Over time, I think that might help me. And again, this is me. I'm a bit of a closet geek on Excel and analytical bits, but it kind of is the way I work, and that I think is hopefully helping me over time bring that confidence, begin to get that emotional detachment, and really help that sort of autopilot kick in terms of that. And then over time, obviously this helps us inform me when are good times to do trading, or I've got set times that I know that I can do trading. Are there any pairs that are better or worse at that sort of time? And is it length of trades? You know, is it 1 minute and 3 minutes that work for me? Is it calls or puts and all of that sort of stuff? So that was just a sort of, I suppose, a quick highlight really in terms of what I've put in place. It's been an interesting week because obviously we then had, last week was when I started doing it, was all the election and various other things. So I haven't done a lot in terms of the data, done quite a lot of it over the weekend. And I suppose I did an hour or so before coming on. Here's looking at pairs, and I successfully didn't get into any trades. Now, in a bizarre way, actually, I thought that was quite a good thing because it all was a bit scatty, and I think that was, to me, I clocked that as a success, despite not actually getting into any trades. And I think that's just part of this growth and learning that I'm going through, as well as trying to look at the various videos, look at obviously everything that there's, and then the others, Sean, etc., and those in IM Academy. But what I have done is just shut off some of the Facebook Messenger and not watching sort of Les and that for a few days, because then I've got enough to process at the minute to get that all straight in my head, and then come back to those things and go, oh yeah, I forgot about the divergence or whatever it might be. So I just wanted to sort of take a brief bit to share that. It'd be fantastic if anybody else has got any other ideas about how they go about this, how they suggest that, and whether anybody sort of finds any of this stuff useful or not.
I'll jump in, Peter. It's not a problem. Thanks for that, mate. It's quite informative. I'm pretty much sort of the same sort of set in the head as you. I probably stopped myself out of more trades than I actually could have taken. Again, I sort of said to say, I did a one-to-one with Jason. He'll tell you. We looked at trades and I go, I won't get in that. But to be honest, I've set myself so that when you're looking at, not to go into too much detail, but the old Bollinger Bands and you've got the SMA in the middle, anything above the SMA, I'll only take a buy. Anything below, I'll only take a sell. Again, there's plenty of retracements and stuff like that you could get in, but that's where I've trained my brain, like you do, to sort of say, this is the way I trade. And if I don't do that and I do vary from that, I tend to sort of find I do lose, to be honest. And again, same thing with sort of days of times of the day and stuff like that. I have set so like 7:30 till 9 at night is normally my time. And yeah, I think yeah, like you say, just training your brain to sort of stop yourself out more and get in it actually is less. I think myself, to be honest, I'm less gambling, and if I don't do any trades and I'm still at the same balance I started with, that's a win in my book.
Yeah, no, and I agree. It's that sort of the loss thing. It's almost making that's the monkey on your shoulder, is the loss, because actually the wins will come. And yeah, I was getting quite frustrated in the last hour because every time I looked at the setup wasn't right, and then you start thinking, oh, maybe I'm misinterpreting it. Other people are looking at that, but not one had the down indicator and the dot in the right place. That to me is, you don't go past go if that's and it's those,
me and you are cut from the same cloth, Peter. Definitely 100%, mate. Honestly, it's got to be. I mean, I've had some really good weekdays like last couple of weeks, and obviously I think people see my results and success for that. But like I say, it takes a lot, and I mean a lot, for me to actually push that button. I used to before. Don't get me wrong. I've been there, done that, and I've done some silly stuff and gone, yeah, we'll just get in it and bit of a laugh and a joke. Luckily, I was on demo. Because to be honest, I tend to switch it over. If you've got that itch to scratch, and a lot of people do, demo's the one. I've got a demo account. I think it's down to about 30 quid at the minute just for playing. So, but I just don't ever do it on my live. Yeah. So you can just, oh, I lost that one. So that's demo. But yeah, so like I say, I tend to, want to get in the zone and be, in my time period. The other night I didn't trade because I got home late and it was like, let's say 10 to 9. By the time I'd set up, I just went, do you know what? It's not for me today. Because you're breaking that rhythm, you're breaking that routine. And to be honest, if you start doing things like that, then you start doing other stuff. And I think having a routine and having, like you say, a trading plan, a stop loss, effectively, like I say to myself, 2 and I'm out, and I won't turn it back on again. That's it. I'm done. So yeah. So having that in your head, and again, this is sort of thanks to Jason a little bit from when we first started doing these mindset calls. Big up to the Jason. Yeah, it sort of helped me sort of, say you need to take this serious. You need to act like, yes, it's your money, but you need to act like a business. You're in this business to make money. You start treating like as a business. If you're losing money all the time as a business, you're not going to keep that business running, are you?
I think you're absolutely right. That's, all businesses do their analysis of markets and shares and, their share of a market and their marketing and all of that. And I think, the more we analyze our own, because we often, there's various bias that the brain has that, confirmatory and self-affirming bias that you think, oh yeah, I only ever win on a call, or I only win on a put, or that. But it's only when we then go back and maybe analyze the actual facts, then you go, oh no, actually there's 50-50, or if you analyze whether you've done a rollover or not, and actually you've lost them all, but you never quite believe it until you go back and actually look at the facts and the numbers. And I think, as I said, I'm an analytical sort of by background, and that's why I put this together. But I think it highlights the facts as opposed to what we perceive to be true. And those two things cannot always be the same thing.
But the hardest thing being, obviously, us being what we call retail traders, is disassociating yourself from that money you've put in, because it's your money. Businesses don't look at the fact that it's somebody's money. They're looking at it as though they're trying to earn profit to pay the shareholders, to pay the dividends, to pay everything else. And that's the sort of, the thing that switched me on. We're all, well, most of us are sort of tradesmen, and, we like to make money, and, we have to bust our buttocks to get, a boiler smashed in a day because we make more money from it. That's the sort of thing that you need to switch on to this as well and apply it to it.
And that's that, I think you're right. It's that emotional attachment to the money. It's money that we've, a lot of us, this is not a sideline, but something we'd like to grow into, maybe more than a sideline, but it's still our hard-earned cash that's going up or down. And I think you're right. There's a real emotional attachment to those. And I think Les says, isn't it, the sooner you can take your initial 250 whatever's out, actually that's quite a powerful thing, because then it's not your money anymore. It's their money, and I'm now playing with your money.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't disagree with that. Yeah, I took mine out about 3 weeks after I started this, and then it's been play saving ever since, to be honest. So, don't get me wrong, I do have up and down days, but I try not to have down days. And if I'm in a mood, or I've had a shit day at work because I've shouted at the boss or sacked someone, I don't do it. I don't trade. So again, they say you do trade with emotion. You do.
And that, going back to that's the chimp thing, because if you raise your chimp in the beginning, the classic one people use is, somebody's cut you up on the way to work. That can, if you let that go all day, that can actually knacker your whole day. You can be angry and emotional all the way through the day and spoil, and be shouting at people. And I think that applies again to, as you said, to sitting down in front of the tray. Being detached from the emotions is the only way you start getting rational, logical sense.
And the problem is, it's hard to do. Like I say, it's very hard to do. Even now, some days I do sit here and I go, fuck's sake. And that's when, as soon as you say that word, you got to go, I shouldn't be trading.
No.
Yeah. If you phone your mouse and you're not doing it.
I'm only on my 5th one. It's fine. It's a good job they're only £7 at Morrison's.
Does anybody else have anything to sort of offer or question about this sort of stuff, and any other suggestions that people might have how they tackle this, or questions about what might be the right approach.
Have you put this Excel spreadsheet in Ledger's units at all?
Yeah, we've talked to Les, and what we're just going to try and do, I'm just sort of, because I've just put it in mine, is testing it just to make sure it's okay. And then yeah, we're talking to Les about how we sort of put a bit of security on it. But yeah, the aim is for us to share it with people within the group. Yeah.
Useless on Excel, so it'd be great to have something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, it does take a little bit in terms of capturing the sort of the data, but basically on IQ Cent, I just grab the data from the screen, paste it into the spreadsheet, and then I put a little button on it that reformats it so it's actually usable formats with dates and times and stuff. And then there's just a few formulas that you down here that you just sort of copy down, and then that flows through to all the sort of spreadsheets and everything and the graphs.
That's really good.
And you got your account growth here, which I haven't programmed that at the minute because I'm not thinking about account growth at the minute. I'm thinking about my getting a reasonable consistency, 70-80% success rate.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's various other bits within that, and you can play about with it, and it's got the numbers and as you go forward and that. So yeah, that's kind of the aim. Yeah.
Cool. Great, thank you.
Yeah, like I say, going back to what you were saying, Peter, consistency is definitely the one to aim for first before you aim for any target. 100%.
Yeah, and it's just having that confidence. Okay, yeah, I'm pressing the button at the right time. Sometimes stuff happens and it doesn't work.
Yeah, mate.
And that's
I
why
tried my hardest. I tried my hardest, and I still managed to get 9 for 1.
Yeah, and that's why
I've done it twice now. Twice. That's it.
And that's why I think capturing the screen print helps me, because then you can go back and go, oh yeah, you idiot, you forgot about that bit, or you forgot about that bit, and that to me is that A, it slows it down a bit, and B, when you do back testing after the event, the candles never quite look the same as when you were in the moment, and that sort of helps me. And again, it's just having to look at it, put a little ring around it, helps me learn. It's that I think that my brain works very visually, so that's how it works for me. Other people, it might work writing it down, or it's just doing something. Otherwise, it's very easy, I found, to then just get onto the next one, and you forget to think about, why did that one go wrong? Was it because I didn't do the strategy right, or was it just one of those things and I did the strategy right and shit happened?
Yeah, because it does. It really does.
Yeah. As long as that shit happens only 2 times out of 10, then we should be all right.
It seems to happen 1 time out of 10 for me at the minute, so I'm all right. It always seems to be, what have I done here? Like, oh, I put a trade on without looking. I did that the other night, idiot.
You drunk?
Yeah, no. I've got a sensitive mouse, and I've managed to click it by picking it up this morning, and I lost.
Yeah.
It never goes the right way, though, does it? Ever. Never ever have had it go the right way when you made a mistake, and you know you've made a mistake. I've sat there and looked at it and gone, it's going to go the other way. I can see it. It's going to do it. Go on, and then it's bye.
But if you analysed it, you probably found out it's 50-50.
Yeah. It's only good when you make the mistake and it's a break even. I'm happy with them.
Has anybody else got any thoughts on this? Speak up.
Anyone got any issues, guys? Any problems? Anything you're struggling with? Yeah, suggestions. Yeah. How do you cope with mindset? How do you do your daily stuff? Everyone's
Who's
too
that
shy.
to me?
Anyone jumping in? Everyone's too shy or asleep.
Hi, Jason.
How you doing? Okay, Kaya?
Yeah, hiya. Right, okay, so I want to admit something. I'm normally rigid Tuesday to Friday trading, but you know, that whole FOMO thing, I took a couple of trades tonight, and actually I was using the cash trap, just giving that a go, and yeah, I lost 2, and I just thought, nah. You know, so I'm just going to stick to my Tuesday and Friday, because I think there's a psychology behind it as well, in the fact that I know that normally the markets are sorting themselves out on a Monday after the weekend. And even though I know that, I was still doing it, but I wasn't doing my own strategy because I couldn't find any decent. I'm rigid on my own strategy, but it's just when I was testing out the cash trap. So thank God it was demo, but still, you know.
How are you getting on with that cash trap? I couldn't get on with it.
Right, okay. So he says that if you just go on the arrows, that you're supposed to get so many out of 10. But obviously it's a point system, isn't it? So if like the stochastic and the RSI are pointing in the same direction as the arrow, obviously you've got to get it in within that 5-minute trade, like a 3-minute trade or something. Like with the 5-4-3, you know, there's different ways of probably trading it, like all the different educators and stuff. But what I found was working is if you got your currency strength meter and you saw that, you know, one pair was heavier, like if you worked it on the scales, you know, like Brandon Boyd says. Have you seen his video where he uses the analogy of scales? So if Euro AUD, so if the Euro was stronger than the AUD, if you look at it like in a weighing scale, it would be going in an upward trend, because the Euro is heavier because there's more bars on it than the AUD, so it'd be like going in and like if the first one is heavier than the other one, the second one is going in an upward trend, and if it's lighter and the second one's heavier, it's going in a downward trend. So with that in mind, you check the currency strength meter along with what it's saying on the screen. And I mean, when I was testing it the other day, I was finding that I wasn't even using the arrows. I was literally just going off the stochastic and the RSI with the currency meter.
Oh, wow.
So, but I mean, obviously I was just trying my cash trap out tonight, so I'm just going to stick to what I know.
Yeah, I think that's key, isn't it? Just stick to what you know. You know it works. You know you're comfortable with it. Just because there's nothing on there for you tonight, you've jumped ship and it's kind of hit you in the teeth, isn't it? You've lost 2.
Yeah.
So
well, this is why I don't trade Monday. You know, but it was just pure like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had trades on Mondays before, but I think with all what's going off with all like America and stuff. I'm just gonna be doing my own strategy Tuesday while Friday. But now I'm just trying the cash trap out, you see.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
What drove you to sort of try the cash trap or try a different strategy?
I think what it is that I want to try it because as much as I like doing what I do and it works, I'm wanting to see if I can trade at different times of the day. And just because, you know, I'll be honest with you, when everyone's chatting about Matty Pips and stuff, and I'm thinking, right, okay. But then, I mean, I went on to, is it DL Wood's thing at stupid o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
I took 2 of his trades and lost them. So it just goes to show you that, you know, it's false economy, just taking signals off someone else, because you're just leaving your money in their hands.
Yeah,
and you've got nobody to blame but yourself, because you're the one that pressed the button, you know. So
you want to find, because you've got a time where you can trade and the strategy you've got. But it then needs to be quite a dedicated approach, and you're almost starting again and you're going, right, okay. And it's that analysis, because we always feel, it's either going much better or much worse than probably it is. And again, that's where capturing some of the information and doing our analysis really helps us go, actually, that's not working for me. I'll go and do something else.
yeah, totally. And I think it's just the fact that it's Monday, and I'm probably, you know, psychologically convinced myself that only Tuesday to Friday works. And obviously, if you believe something, it's true, isn't it? You know, if you believe you can't do it, you'll not do it. You're right. You know. But yeah, that's my 10 pence worth. So
There you go. Well, at least you've been honest, Kai, and you've
Oh,
tried
yeah.
it. I think sometimes it's in your mind. You've got to try it just to get it out of the system, if you like. Now you've tried it. It's I think it's more even more sunk into your head, thinking, right, I wasn't overly keen on it, but now I've taken it and I've done 2 losses. I'm definitely not going to go back to it. So in one way, I think if you've tried it now, you've put it to bed, and maybe you're not going to go back to it. So it just possibly favors more what you're doing, really. So sometimes it is good to explore and just see what's out there. Possibly sometimes, just don't go crazy with anything.
yeah, I mean, like they say, success leaves clues, and there's probably a
Yeah.
reason why Matty Pips does Tuesday to Friday as well. So
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just he's at
no.
4 in the morning, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not that dedicated. I just stick to my own for that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But no,
Anyways,
thanks, Jason. It's been a great session.
that's great. No problem. Anytime. Anybody else, guys?
Yeah, and Peter and everyone else.
You got anybody else, so we can wrap it up. We've been on just over an hour nearly. Like I say, if you want to reach out to any of us, like Dave said, me and him had the one-to-one. I had a one-to-one with Les about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. I've been on a few with Sean. We're all human. If you want help, don't be scared. Just literally reach out. We're not going to say no to you or whoever. If you don't get on with me, some people are not too overly keen on me because I'm quite raw. I just literally don't give a shit. Sorry if you don't like me. I just say how it is. And sometimes you need to be like that in life and just crack on. Life is hard, but if you're not keen on somebody else, go to somebody else. Just there's enough people in the group, guys. Just there's a big community. I've never seen so much support really in this group. It's fantastic, and I really do appreciate it from myself. But if anybody else has got anything, I'll cut it there. Let me stop the recording.